Not an insignificant increase either. 12 to 14. Not an insignificant increase either. 12 to 14.
Try down here.
Yeah.
That little, yep, that little.
Not an insignificant.
Got it. Leave computer audio right there.
Thank
Got
you.
it.
Thank you.
I'd like to call the regular session of the Isabella County Board of Commissioners to order. Stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Lux, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Here.
Commissioner Engler,
Here.
Commissioner Jalzinski, Commissioner Horton, Commissioner Marino,
Here.
Commissioner Swaney,
Here.
Commissioner Hope.
Here.
All present, Mr. Chairman, except for Commissioner Jalzinski and Commissioner Horton.
Thank you, Clerk Lux. Commissioner Jelezinski and Commissioner Horton did inform me that they would not be able to attend. They had something come up and they were unable to be here. But with that, next up, we'll have approval of agenda. We'll start out with general public comment. We have no presentations and special reports. We have one appointment to the Human Resource Committee, or I'm sorry, the Human Rights Committee. The consent agenda, is there anything anyone would like removed from the consent agenda for further discussion? If not, we'll move on. Committee reports, Finance Administration is going to be handled by Criminal Justice and County Affairs and the Human Rights Committee. They kind of split that up and they will be taking those items. Brings us down to Criminal Justice and County Affairs.
The Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee is all set, Mr. Chairman.
You and Human Resources and Public Works Committee.
The Human Resources and Public Works Committee is all set, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We have no intergovernmental affairs, no administrator controller issues, no unfinished business. Under new business, we have item A, which is a fiscal year 2023 budget resolution and general appropriations act. So we will be considering that this evening. Yeah.
Make a motion to add C to our meeting tonight under new business, correction unit, collective bargaining agreement.
Support Swaney.
Great. So that will be all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we'll add item C. Thanks for remembering that because I did not. Item B will be, we have 2% grant request for the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe. And then we will have general public comment, again, announcements and adjournment. So is there a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of item C under new business?
So moved.
Support.
Supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. We have an agenda and that brings us to general public comments. Is there anyone for general public comment? No one. So we already asked Tom before the meeting, so we're good. So we'll keep moving right along. We have no presentations and special reports, appointments to boards and commissions. Human Rights Committee at Large, Chairman's request for nominations for one opening on the Isabella County Human Rights Committee as an at-large representative for a 3-year term ending September 1st, 2025, or until a successor is appointed.
Support Marino.
Are there any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Erica Hopcraft for Human Rights Committee at Large Representative for the 3-year term ending September 1st, 2025.
Support for that.
Support.
Been moved and supported to nominate Erica Hopcraft. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? I think I have to say that 3 times.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I did, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we pass a unanimous, close the nominations, and pass unanimous ballots for Erica Hopcraft.
Support.
Been moved, excuse me, been moved and supported to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Erica Hopcraft. All those in favor, say aye. Or do we need a, we don't need a roll call on that? Okay. Very good. We have appointed Erica Hopcraft, reappointed for another term on the Human Rights Committee. Which brings us down to the consent agenda. Commissioner Hutchinson, would you make that
Sure.
motion?
Make a motion. Move to approve and place on file the September 6th, 2022 regular meeting minutes, the September 13th, 2022 Finance and Administration Committee meeting minutes, the September 13th, 2022 Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee meeting minutes, and the September 13th, 2022 Human Resources and Public Works Committee meeting minutes.
Support.
And moved and supported to approve and place on file the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. Brings us down to committee reports, Finance and Administration Committee.
Okay, item number 1 is the September 2nd, 2022 invoice list, the September 9th, 2022 invoice list, and the September 15th, 2022 adjustment list. The motion reads, move to ratify and place on file the September 2nd, 2022 invoice list in the amount of $542,560.43. The September 9th, 2022 invoice list in the amount of $176,781.83, and the adjustment list dated September 15, 2022.
Support.
Moved and supported to ratify and place on file the September 2nd invoice list, the September 9th invoice list, and the September 15th adjustment list. Discussion.
We do get these, every commissioner gets them on their emails, and we've had a discussion on this during the work session, so it's been well vetted.
Very good. And I think the only anomaly that came up was 2 hats payment on one invoice list, and we figured out that was a timing issue, that they both ended up on the same list was all. So is there any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk Lux, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Engler,
Yes.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, clerk Lux.
All right, item number 2. BSB Communications Incorporated Installment Agreement. Motion reads, move to approve the BSB Communications Incorporated Installment Agreement for phone systems in the County Administrative Building, the Trial Court Building, the Sheriff's Office, 911 Central Dispatch in the total amount of $174,919.44. Authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the BSB Communications Incorporated installment agreement. Discussion.
Well, our current phone system for those groups is 25 years old. So, well predates my children who are in college. So I think it's obviously time for us to move forward with a new phone system for everyone that might work for them in modern times. And everyone's paying a little bit of the pie.
Good. I'll just add that the RFP was released back in April. It had 8 responses. 1 did not comply with the application, did not fill out the application entirely. Which brought down to 7 vendors, all of which did demonstrations. They liked 2 of those demonstrations and asked 2 of those companies to come back for a second interview, and everyone on the committee, Michelle tells us, was in favor of BSB. They had the best proposal, the best equipment. Any further discussion? Clerk Lux, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Engler,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is addendum to the Preston Community Service Contract. Motion reads, move to approve the addendum to the contract for professional services between Preston Community Services LLC and Isabella County in the amount of $53,400 and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the addendum to Preston Community Services Contract. Discussion.
Okay, we've had a position open in the equalization for quite a long time. The position was filled for a short time and that person left. It's put the county in a little bit of a bind. It's trying to get caught up. So Preston's community service agreed to fill that, take care of those responsibilities, and it will actually be cheaper for the county than hiring a full-time employee. So
Further discussion. Clerk Lux, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Engler,
yes,
Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Clerk Lux.
All right, next item is State Tax Commission Form L 4029-2022 Tax Rate Request. Motion reads, move to approve the completion of the State Tax Commission Form L 4029-2022 Tax Rate Request, affirming each county approved millage rate, and authorize the board chair and the county clerk to sign the same.
support,
Been moved and supported to approve the completion of the State Tax Commission Form L 4029-2022 Tax Rate Request. Discussion.
We need to do this every year so that we can request our winter taxes. So quite important for the county and all the townships and city.
Absolutely. Clerk Lux, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Engler,
yes,
Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Clerk Lux.
Okay, the next item is move to adopt Isabella County Board of Commissioners Resolution number 2022-06 by a 2/3 vote of the Board of Commissioners to accept Isabella County from the requirements of Public Act 152 for calendar benefit year of 2023 and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support.
Been moved and supported to adopt resolution number 2022-06 Public Act 152. Discussion.
This is the resolution we need to pass to make sure that the county opts out of that law. I can read the resolution if you want. Okay. Isabella County Board of Commissioners Resolution number 2022-06. Whereas Public Act 152 of 2011 was passed by the legislature and signed by the governor on September 27, 2011. And whereas the act contains 3 options for complying with the requirements of the act, And whereas Section 8 of the Act permits a qualified unit of local government to exempt itself from the provisions of Section 3 and Section 4 for the next succeeding year by a 2/3 vote of its governing body prior to the start of the benefit year. Now therefore be it resolved that effective September 20th, 2022, the Board of Commissioners of Isabella County elects to comply with the requirements of Public Act 152 by adopting the annual exemption option for the medical benefit plan coverage year January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023.
Very good. So Public Act 152 mandates that an employer can pay no more than 80% of the cost of their employees' health care. There's a couple different ways you can do the math on that, but it's referred to as an 80/20. The county is almost always opted out of that. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, Clerk Lux, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Engler,
Yes.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Clerk Lux.
Number 6 on our list, petty cash policy, motion reads. Move to adopt Isabella County Financial Management Policy number 416, petty cash policy and take effect immediately upon adoption.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to adopt the Isabella County Financial Management Policy number 416 petty cash policy. Discussion.
Yeah, this is a policy that we haven't had in place and surprisingly so, but this protects us as in case there's an audit done that we know where the small amount of cash through the building is going and
I'll just add that it kind of maintains and codifies what we're already doing, which is always a good idea. And sets some parameters on how that can be used and replenished. So any questions or further discussion? Seeing none, Clerk Lux, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Engler,
Yes.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
yes.
Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Clerk Lux.
Okay, the next item 7 is move to approve fiscal year 2022 budget amendment number 2022-11, fourth quarter budget adjustments for general fund and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the fiscal year 2022 budget amendment number 2022-11. Discussion.
Yeah, we were given this amendment, the controller administrator went line by line explaining the process of the revenue and expenditures and zeroing out to make it everything accounted for. And does anybody have any questions on this?
The good news is that it's 600,000 to the good.
That's the bottom line.
Not using any of the DRF fund? It's the DRF? Yeah. T. Okay, got it. D.
Further discussion. Seeing none, Clerk Lux, a roll call, please.
Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Engler,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Clerk Lux.
Okay, 8th item, fiscal year 2022 budget amendment number 2022-12. Motion reads, move to approve fiscal year 2022 budget amendment number 2022-12, fourth quarter budget adjustment and other funds, and authorize the board chair to sign this home.
Been moved and supported to approve fiscal year 2022 budget amendment number 2022-12. Discussion.
Yeah, this is more of the same, what we just did, only this pertains more to the fourth quarter and the adjustments that Controller Frost went over during our workshop.
Yep, and this pertains to other funds. Whereas the other one pertained to general fund. Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk locks a roll call, please.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Engler, Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
And that completes the work of the Finance Administration Committee. Thank you, gentlemen, for filling in. Brings us down to Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee.
One item, the 911 dispatcher supervisor new hire rate. The motion reads, move to approve the request to hire an Isabella County 911 dispatcher supervisor at a dispatcher supervisor employee wage scale step 5 year in the amount of $55,249.45.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the request to hire 911 dispatcher supervisor, new hire rate as specified, step 5 discussion.
Yes, we've done this several times. It's been very difficult to fill positions and find qualified people. And usually when you can find somebody that's had some experience in it and you can bring them in and save the training costs and get them up and running, it's usually a good idea. So.
Training costs and certifications are significant with this type of positions. Plus to get somebody that has that. Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk locks a roll call, please.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Engler,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, clerk locks.
And that completes the work of the Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, gentlemen. Brings us down to Human Resources and Public Works Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our first and only item at this time is individual service contracts for activity services. The motion reads, move to approve the individual service contracts between Isabella County Commission on Aging and James Vandermeer, Carol Clute, Angela McGurk, Catherine Tobin, Judy Schwartz, Steve Wood, and Mary Alsager to provide activity services, and Virginia Kane to serve as the active living newspaper editor effective October 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2023, and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the individual services contracts for activity services discussion.
Yes, we had Jennifer Crawford, the director of Isabella County Commission on Aging, give us the briefing on this. We're really fortunate to have the opportunity to work with so many talented individuals who are leading these classes. And it leads to having a wide variety of services to our program participants. And also, we were told today, which I didn't know, that the classes are free of charge at this time. They started out that way in COVID times, more strict COVID times, and now they're free of charge now.
Any further discussion?
I just want to say thanks to all these people, and they've all worked with us before, so. Stepping up.
Else? Clerk locks a roll call, please.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Engler,
Yes.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope.
Yes,
5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
thank you, clerk locks. And
That completes the work of the Human Resources and Public Works.
thank you, gentlemen. We have no intergovernmental affairs, no administrator controller issues, no unfinished business. We do have quite a bit of new business, and item A under new business is the fiscal year 2023 budget resolution and general appropriations act, probably the most important thing we're going to do this year. Shouldn't say probably, definitely. Commissioner Marino, would you like to make that motion,
Sure.
please?
Fiscal year 2023 budget resolution and General Appropriation Act. The motion reads, move to approve the Isabella County Fiscal Year 2023 Budget Resolution and General Appropriations Act, Resolution number 2022-05.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the fiscal year 2023 budget resolution and general appropriations act. Discussion.
Went over this in the work session. And I'm scrolling down to the Isabella County Board of Commissioners Resolution number 2022-05. Fiscal year 2023 budget resolution and general appropriation act. Whereas the Uniform Budgeting and Accounting Act, Public Act 2 of 1968, as amended, requires each local unit of government to adopt a balanced budget for all required funds. And whereas the Board of Commissioners has reviewed the recommended funding and anticipated revenues as brought forth by the County Administrator Controller Office and believes the same to contain funds sufficient to finance approved county services. And whereas the Board of Commissioners of Isabella County, Michigan duly advertised a public hearing on the proposed budget for fiscal year 2023 as required by the Uniform Budgeting and Accounting Act. Now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal year 2023 Isabella County budget is hereby adapted on a fund and activity center basis for all funds, subject to all county policies regarding the expenditure of funds and the conditions set forth in this resolution. And be it further resolved that the following tax rates are hereby authorized to be levied for the tax year, including authorized debt service as summarized below. General government operations, 6.61 mils. Commission on Aging, 0.8776 mil. Medical care facility, 1.0 mil. Parks and Recreation, 0.3500 mils. Transportation, 0.8620 mils, for a grand total of 9.6996 mils. And be it further resolved that the Board of Commissioners hereby approves salaries. Approves salaries effective January 1st, 2023 of County Commissioner District 1, 2, and 3, 7,500. County Commissioner District 4, 5, 6, and 7, 7,000. Board of Commissioners Chairperson, District salary plus 500. County Clerk, 85,529. County Drain Commissioner, 68,673. County Register of Deeds, 77,402. County Treasurer, 89,241. County Prosecuting Attorney, 127,514. Isabella County Road Commissioner per MCL 224.8 parentheses 2, 4,800. And be it further resolved that per Michigan statute MSL 22483, that the Isabella County Commissioner shall be eligible for health insurance coverage equivalent to that afforded to members of the Isabella County Board of Commissioners. Road commissioners shall not be eligible for payment in lieu of health insurance coverage. And be further resolved that the median per diem rates at standing boards, commissions, and committees appointed by the Board of Commissioners shall be set as indicated below, effective on October 1st, 2022. Board of Public Works, $30. Human Rights Committee, $25. Boundary Commission, $25. Jury Board, $30. Building Authority, $25. Parks and Recreation Commission, $25. Canvassing Board, $25. Planning Commission, $30. Commission on Aging, $25. Plat Board, $25. Construction Board of Appeals, $25. Veterans Affairs, $25. Department of Health and Human Services, $25. Zoning Board of Appeals, $30. And be it further resolved that the approved employee positions on the authorized staffing level roster contained in the budget shall limit the number of employees who can be employed, and no funds are appropriated for any position or employee not on the authorized staffing level roster. Further, there may be a need to increase or decrease various positions within the budget and or impose a hiring freeze and or impose layoffs because of unforeseen financial changes. Therefore, the authorized staffing level roster may be changed from time to time by the board and or the board may impose a hiring freeze. County elected officials and county department heads shall abide by whatever changes are made by the board, if any, relative to the approved positions and the number of employees stated in the authorized staffing level roster. And be it further resolved that certain positions contained in the authorized staffing level roster, which are supported in some part by a grant, cost sharing, or other sources of outside funding, are only approved contingent upon the county receiving the budgeted revenues. In the event outside funding is not received, or the county is notified that it will not be received, then said position shall be considered unfunded and removed from the authorized spending level roster. And be it further resolved that the administrator controller is required and directed to automatically reduce any department each time a reduction is made in federal, state, and local funds. The affected department head shall promptly make the necessary layoffs and advise how those affected by the service that those services are being discontinued as a result of federal, state, and or local cutbacks. And be it further resolved that whenever it appears to the county administrator's controller office that the actual and probable revenues will be less than the estimated revenues upon which appropriations were based, and when it appears that expenditures will exceed an appropriation, the county administrative controller's office shall present to the board recommendations to prevent expenditures from exceeding available revenues or appropriations for the fiscal year. Such recommendations shall include proposals for reducing appropriations, increasing revenues, or both. And be it further resolved that whenever the Board of Commissioners authorizes the implementation of a hiring freeze, the process shall be administered by county administrator controller, department head, elected official, bringing forth a request to hire may appeal the decision of the administrative controller to the Board of Commissioners. And be it further resolved that the payment of bills pursuant to MCLA 46.71, all claims against Isabella County shall be approved by the Board of Commissioners prior to being paid pursuant to MCLA 46.54. The board appoints the finance committee to audit, allow, and authorize the payment of claims against the county, and thereby expedite the duties of the board relating to such claims. The board shall receive a list of payments at the following Board of Commissioners meeting for ratification. The office of the administrator controller may pay certain bills prior to the approval by the board to avoid late penalties, service charges, and interest. The board the Board of Commissioners for ratification. The office of the
Can't help you. I lost track.
it's almost done too. Okay, the Office of Administrative Controller may pay certain bills prior to the approval by the board to avoid penalties, service charges, and interest, etc. The board shall receive a monthly complete list of said claims bills at the next month's board meeting, and be it further resolved that the administrative controller be and hereby is appointed chief administrative officer pursuant to the Uniform Budgeting and Accounting Act, MCL, or 141.42 BIF, with the power to administer such duties in connection with the said budget as may be from time to time delegated to the office of administrative controller by this board, and be further resolved that the chief administrative officer be directed to disperse to various agencies the approved county appropriation on the basis of need as determined by the cash balances within their respective funds. And be it further resolved that the county administrative controller be authorized to amend the budget from one category to another within an activity and between activities within the same fund in the amount of up to $50,000 for non-equipment expenditures and up to $25,000 for equipment expenditures when it shall be deemed necessary, and provide a quarterly report of all budget amendments to the Finance and Administration Committee. And be it further resolved that only the Board of Commissioners be authorized to amend the budget in amounts greater than $50,000 for non-equipment expenditures and greater than $25,000 for equipment expenditures, or when the amendment serves to increase the fund's overall adopted budget amount. And be it further resolved that the county administrator controller is authorized to cause the drafting of contracts where necessary and appropriate within the established boundary limitations, and that the chairperson of the board is authorized to save said contracts after administrator controller approves each contract as to substance and legal counsel approves each contract as to the legal form. And be it further resolved that the Board of Commissioners chairperson be authorized to sign grant applications to apply for funding where necessary and appropriate for county-related programs and services, provided that the approval and acceptance of the grant funding subsequently comes before the full Board of Commissioners. And be it further resolved that the Board of Commissioners hereby approves fiscal year 2023 budgets for the special revenue funds, the fiscal year 2023 Isabella County Department fee schedules, and the fiscal year 2027 capital improvement plan. And be it further resolved that the Isabella County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the fiscal year 2023 budget as presented Tuesday, September 20th, 2022.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like you deserve a buzz for that.
Wow.
Any further discussion? Couple things I'll add that I mentioned before in the work session. I like the inclusion of the 5-year capital improvement plan in the budget. That's nice to see. I like that we're only planning on using 200,000 from the delinquent tax revolving fund. Last year we had budgeted 800,000, but ended up not needing to use any of it. This budget uses a little under 500,000 from the fund balance, which we don't like to dip into, but it still leaves us with an $11 million fund balance, which is a pretty healthy fund balance given the size of our budget. Projected revenues down this coming year because this year was such an anomaly with the ARPA funds and everything. So that's to be expected. Long-term disability, there is a mention of that, but that will not be removed for any of the employees. So I think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to. I'll mention also that I like the whole process this year. I'm glad that we moved it forward. We had more time. We had more time for each draft. We had more time to look at the final budget proposal, more time to discuss it. If anything came up, and a couple smaller things did come up, and we worked those through, but we had time to do that. There wasn't that feeling of being crunched and pressed to, get it done in the 11th hour. So I appreciate that. I appreciate Administrator Frost, all the work you put into this, and the department heads. When you go down and look through the department budgets and how all those folks have really strived to be prudent with them. And I really appreciate that. It makes our job a lot easier. So with that, any further comments? Hearing none, clerk locks a roll call, please.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Engler,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope. 5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Clerk Lux. That brings us down to item B, which is Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe, Michigan Fall 2022 semi-annual 2% requests. And we rated these 5 requests between meetings, and they all averaged out to 1 being the highest. importance. So, and I agree with that. They're all important. The first one is the Commission on Aging, $522,348 for programs and services. Jennifer Crawford, the Director of the Commission on Aging, told us that the tribe since, and I forget the exact date, but since the nineties has given our Commission on Aging $9.6 million. And what a huge service to the community. And they really take that money that the tribe gives us and turn it into services with the use of a lot of volunteers, a few paid people, but a whole lot of volunteers. So terrific job that they're doing at the Commission on Aging. The next one is the Isabella Conservation District requesting $103,200 for the electronic waste recycling program. Commissioner Engler spoke to this a little bit, being on the Conservation District. Something they do every year. Just a nice service to be able to bring electronic waste that should not be in the regular trash in the landfills. So nice service there. The next one would be the material recovery facility requesting $150,000 for the recycling program. A little different type of request for the MRF there. They in the past would request money for a truck or for a certain piece of equipment, but with the feasibility study, kind of not knowing where we'll go with that agency, it makes sense to just request a dollar amount for general recycling. The next one is Parks and Recreation requesting $50,000 for the Herrick Park Playground project. And there was some other matching funds put in there, but the Herrick Park has gotten just a huge amount of use the last few years. Very popular park. The playground's very old. I take my grandkids there, and when it's hot, a lot of the equipment is metal merry-go-round, and sometimes I want to play on that, but it's too hot. I can't. So the playground is very outdated. So an update there is needed. The last one is the Sheriff's Office requesting $280,198.50 for law enforcement data interoperability. And this is something that all the police agencies in the area have been working on. So there's money coming from the city, from the tribe, and as well as the county. And what it will do is give all those agencies the same data, the same clean data, and it'll be available to every officer right down to patrol. It'll be available in the patrol cars. We talked in committee about how nice that would be when you get a call to an address to almost instantly have a history of what's gone on at that address before you roll up there. So and just the prosecuting attorney's office will have access to that same data. So that'll be a huge time saver, and it'll I think it'll make the whole process easier, better. So that's so. I don't know if any commissioners wanted to. I guess
To add on,
we should make the motion.
that last one, just to
Pardon?
add on to
Yeah.
two groups that you missed that are adding money to that is CMU, law enforcement, and 911 emergency dispatch here for the county.
Thanks for adding that. Yeah, I was going to mention that, and it kind of slipped my mind. So thank you.
There's a lot of groups involved in that one.
Yeah. Yep. I think the total is like a $500,000 grant total with almost a 50% match from different agencies. So very nice. So Commissioner Swaney, would you like to make that motion?
All right, for the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe of Michigan Fall 2022 semi-annual 2% requests. Motion reads, move to approve the following Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe of Michigan semi-annual 2% request prioritization for presentation to the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe by the required date of March 31st, 2022.
That doesn't seem right, does it? I bet it's September 30th, 2022.
Yeah.
Do we,
I didn't touch that one.
I'm sorry. I'll
Okay.
make that change by required date of September 30th of 2022.
Or
Moved and supported to approve the following Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe, Michigan semi-annual 2% request, which I just discussed briefly. With the change, the required date of September 30th, 2022. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Engler,
yes,
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Clerk Lux. Brings us down to general public. Sorry, and
Brings us down.
Administrator Controller just mentioned this to me so that I wouldn't forget it, and I forgot it. I get ahead of myself at times, but item number C, Commissioner Hutchinson, would you
Sure.
make that motion, please?
These correction unit collective bargaining agreement. Motion reads, move to approve the collective bargaining agreement between Isabella County Board of Commissioners and Isabella County Sheriff's Office and Police Officers Association of Michigan collection unit effective January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2023, and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support.
And moved and supported to approve the collective bargaining agreement for the corrections unit discussion.
Yeah, this is one that kind of fell through the cracks. We had a tentative agreement, kind of realized it, and now we're putting it to voted on it and they agreed to it, so putting it in place.
Very good. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Clerk Lux, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
yes,
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Clerk Lux. Now can we move on? Okay, thanks. I'm glad you're here to keep me in line, and Commissioner Horton does that too. When I make mistakes. But anyway, it brings us down to general public comment. Is there anyone for general public comment? I don't think we have anyone online, do we, Michelle? We don't have anyone online. So that brings us down to announcements. Commissioners, any announcements? I'll just add that we just approved the 2% request. I don't ever want to get to a place where we take those for granted. I'm very appreciative of the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe and their very generous support of a lot of things that we do here at the county and all the other entities throughout the county, the schools and the other units of government. So I'm very appreciative of that. And that's all Commissioner Swaney.
I just realized that October is coming up and every October Rise here, the group, nonprofit group to help those in need of maybe a home away from a abusive relationship or family away. They're doing the 100-man, I'm gonna get it wrong, 100-men campaign. Yeah, so looking for 100 men to give $100 so they can raise $10,000 for October. So look that up online at Rise Advocacy, Mount Pleasant.
Excellent. That's a great organization. Any other announcements? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Support.
Supported, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned 7:48.
All right.
Thanks for stopping me there.
Not a problem.